So we'd like to talk about how to manage trips in the Private Fund Manager software. First thing to be aware of is that your pupils are automatically synchronized and linked into PFM on a daily basis, either from Sims, Integris or other packages. We then set up each of our trips in the account maintenance area. We can have as many as we wish. On here I have, as you see, some Bolton Towers, some ski trips and so on. To create a new one, I simply give it a code and a name. And we set this up as what we call a by individual account, which means we want to know all the detail of who pays, who gives us consent forms, who owes and so on. On the right we can specify the cost of the trip, in this case £1,025 each. We can pick the individual pupils going, and we can set up the instalment dates and amounts so we always know who's up to date and who isn't. We can also record paperwork such as consent forms, passports, when visas are given in, photographs, etc., and specify any details we like. And these can be added as many as you wish, and of course can be archived off at year end. To record that we've received some money from the pupils for these trips, we can either do this in the form of cash and cheques, as I'm doing here. It gives me a list of all the children going to the New York trip, and I can enter the amount they've paid on this day, and a cheque number if it's cheque, cash otherwise, and I can record the paperwork, have they given a consent form, medical form, etc. We can, however, also automatically import money in from online payments. So if a parent would like to pay through the banking system, they can make their payment just in their normal way through online banking on their computer, laptop, or on their mobile phone application, and we can automatically read that information off the school's online banking. So we click on a button at the bottom that says read bank statement file. It goes off and it looks at our Lloyds, Barclays, whatever we use, and it notices all the different people who have made payments. We allocate the parents a unique code, and if they use it, it automatically knows who the money is from and what the trip is. If they don't use their special code, we have to use point and click to say this is from so-and-so parent for so-and-so trip. Once we've received money in, whatever the format, we can look up information. So we can see who's paid, who hasn't paid, and so on. This final tab, the Internet Receipts tab, is one that we use to link with third-party online payment providers such as Parent Pay, Parent Mail, Sims Agora, and so on. So we can get the money in from all sorts of sources. Looking up information is very straightforward. We can call up the trip, in our case New York, and as you can see, all sorts of buttons and reports can be generated. This is the payments received, which tells us what they should have paid, and still owe, and whether or not we've had the consent form yet. Up at the top we've got various buttons, this one for example showing us who has not given us their paperwork yet, and we can use that to chase up. We have contact lists showing the pupil details, gender, date of birth, home and mobile phone numbers of the parents, and any key medical notes, and a variety of other reports giving all sorts of very useful information, debtors, etc. We do also have an automatic button over on the right hand side here for emails and letters, so we can drop a quick note, a mail merge type letter to the parents of people on this trip, or we can drop a very quick and easy email to them giving all sorts of information, and as you can see, mail merging in details of the child's name, how much they've paid, how much they owe, and so on, and it can be sent to people that owe money, haven't given their forms in, etc. On a more general level, we can see all the money in, all the money out, and a balance for each of our trips, so a kind of financial summary for the trip as a whole. We can look up individual pupils and see everything they've paid for across all the different trips. And finally, we can get financial overview information. Income and expenditure, showing money in, money out, and a closing balance for each of our trips. We can get audit trails, balance sheets, summary balance sheets, all sorts of financial reports. This can be used for schools who have a separate school fund bank account, as well as academies who have centralised accounts and just need some trip management. Private Fund Manager will generate reports that can be then input into your academy accounts, giving summary information of all monies received and monies spent for the various trips.